I'm Louise DiUlio. I'm the Chief Client Officer here at Advertising Week, and it is my honor and pleasure to be joined by these three lovely women for a panel today on the power of cultural experiences. So just a little bit of background about what we're going to talk about today and kind of set the stage of the discussion. Penske Media, PMC, recently conducted a study that highlights how shared cultural moments and immersive events really deepen emotional connections between fans, brands, and everything in between. And that's really what PMC is really about. We'll get into kind of the brands that they own and represent in a bit, but once I start naming them, you'll definitely know a lot of them. They're really into connecting audiences through their greatest passion. So whether it's entertainment, music, fashion, lifestyle, art, luxury, pretty much everything in between. Penske owns a bunch of iconic brands, for everyone from Billboard to Dick Clark Productions, which we're joined by today, which run the Golden Globes and American Music Awards, to Variety, Rolling Stone, WWD, Deadline, South by Southwest, Hollywood Reporter, She Media, and even more. PMC leads the conversation across all of these industries, so we're in for a real treat today. I'm so excited to be joined by these three awesome women who I only just met this morning, but we all really vibed really well and feel like we're fast friends. So
we did.
Excited to dive in. Do you guys want to jump in and introduce yourselves?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm Dana Droppo. I'm Chief Brand Officer at Billboard. So music is definitely my world. And I've been with the brand for about 7 years. In my role, I look after our marketing org, our video operation, our events and tentpoles, which we'll talk lots about today, as well as our brand studio. And so I'm really excited to be here. Maddie and I work together very intimately on the BBMAs.
Yes. Maddie Massavage, also very excited to be here. I lead marketing at Dick Clark Productions. We do all of the award shows. I've been with the company for about 11 years now, so I've definitely gotten to experience a lot of the ride of award shows as they experience the shift in consumption patterns, the shift in distribution, and sort of that landscape at large. I've really gotten to ride the wave of how we continue to bring value to brands, to fans, to talent. So very excited to be talking up here.
And I'm Sarah Shaker. Hello. I lead brand engagement for Maybelline New York and Essie at L'Oreal USA. I've actually, thanks, Leanne. I've been at L'Oreal for 9 years now. So I've been in a few different roles and also on our CDMO side. So really excited to be here and speak from the brand side of experiences and how we tap into culture.
Awesome, thanks guys. So we'll dive into, these pop culture experiences and what they really mean to fans and attendees and how the events can shape. But one of my favorite things about these three is they're all girls after my own heart. Really loyal, been these brands for a long time and really kind of have worked together to watch them grow, which I think is awesome. We all have that in common. I've been at Advertising Week for almost 13 years, so it's a good group.
But where did you start?
My first, actually, good shout. My first ever experience in the industry was interning at Billboard. So this is quite a full circle moment for me, so thank you guys. So let's dive into the questions. So the study itself says that 77% of people have said that pop culture experiences provide a lifelong memory, which I think we can all relate to. And 72% of those people say that the experiences offer an escape from the ordinary, which I think is definitely becoming more relevant, over the last couple of years, everything we've all gone through. So with this, what unique value do you guys think cultural experiences really offer audiences? And why are these numbers so staggering? And how can brands really ensure these fan-first moments create this lasting moment and impression? And brand loyalty also on top of that. Mm-hmm. Does anybody want to dive in first? Past you guys.
I can go. Do you want me to go?
Yes, please.
So from a Maybelline perspective, especially as a heritage brand, right? We are over 100 years old. We're the largest cosmetics brand and the #1 in the world, which is crazy when you think of that massive reach. So for us, it's really important that we can tap into experiences to stay culturally relevant, right? When you're an older brand, you're like, how do you stay modernized with the times and with the generations as they grow? So for us, and because we don't have a retail presence, right? Where obviously we do at our amazing retail partners like Walmart, Target, but we don't have our own store. So when we're building an experience, it's our opportunity to give our consumers and brand advocates a real space to engage with the brand and a touch point. So for example, this summer, we had actually built a summer carnival in the city, which was very fun, down in Soho. And what we did there was we combined both the storytelling of products. So we launched a firework mascara, right? Think very 4th of July in the US, sun kisser blush, and products that really spoke to that idea of a summer carnival. And so we had our VIP influencer and editor night, as we always would, but then we utilized the space, the carnival games, the free products, even cotton candy and lemonade that we gave to consumers for the next 2 days. And we had over 3,000 people come through. And it was that moment where you can build a memory with the brand and have fun and not just get a free sample, but really get to engage and chat with our team. So that was something that we felt like was special, and we have to build those moments in order to offer them.
That's so interesting and so fun, and I want a firework mascara for myself.
I'll get that for you.
Okay,
It's great.
thank you very much. No, I totally agree with you. I think that at Billboard, I often think about women in music because it's so unique, and this is a show that we do and have done for 15 years, but prior to my time at the company, it was very focused on the industry. Billboard covers both the trade side of the music industry as well as the consumer-facing storytelling, cover stories, and our award shows, of course. And for the last 6 years, we've opened Women in Music up to consumers. So it's this incredible event that celebrates the most powerful executives in the industry, which is very important. Of course, gender parity in the music industry is something we're really passionate about promoting. And at the same time, we honor a suite of musicians. And there's really no place anywhere else in popular culture where all these women get in a room together, plus we've got a bunch of adoring fans. And so you get these moments in that room where Lainey Wilson, who is an incredible country artist, will introduce Twice, who are this insane K-pop group, and they're having this moment on stage, and you've got these fans who are losing their minds. Like the decibel level when Twice is on stage at Women in Music is something I cannot express verbally. It's really beyond. And then you also see the camera pan to Olivia Rodrigo and Lana Del Rey, like cuddling and reacting to this sweet moment. So it's really something that can't be replicated elsewhere. And then of course we're broadcasting, and fans all over the world can watch it, can stream it, and can tell us, oh, that was so special, or like, oh my God, Olivia loves Twice too, or like, Lainey looks amazing, can we see her and Lana later? And it's just really unique and invites everybody sort of into this world that can't be replicated through something that's not in real life.
Yeah, and I think similar to Women in Music, but with Dick Clark Productions having so many legacy award shows that have sort of been seen by so many generations of audiences, we really think of these as cultural moments, right? Pop culture moments, pop culture reflectors and creators. And I think the sort of power of getting fans together, artists together, and having that moment be sort of what was popular that year and sort of what was high impact that year and celebrating that, but then also creating true moments that people are going to remember, right? People want cultural experiences because they want an escape. They want something that they can enjoy. They want to be able to create a memory for their personal life and have something they can personally connect to. Award shows really, they create those moments for people. I may be a fan of Taylor Swift. There's a lot of people out there. I may also be a fan of Duran Duran. There might be fewer people out there. And I think that the award shows create, and really cultural experiences in general, but I think award shows are a unique version of this, create a connection that is both very sort of intimate for fans and then also sort of blows up and has this universal appeal where so many people with so many different interests can have like an authentic connection moment. And that connection moment is seeing both myself loving an artist, it's seeing artists loving between each other, and sort of there's a intimacy there, there's a relatability there. And then for brands who sort of get to participate in these environments, cultural experiences are like a conduit of connection. And if done correctly, right, brands, when they get to come in and they partner, if what we're giving fans are experiences and lasting memories, brands should be part of those, right? And when done correctly and authentically, brands then get to sort of be part of those memories. And I think that's very, very impactful for fans.
Yeah, I'm part of the fandoms, essentially,
Yeah.
when brands can do those different experiential moments, which we've, of course, done on and off for years with music, to be there on the ground so that you can
Yep.
remember, like, this brand brought you this taste of this experience.
And the feeling you have
and the
is tied
feeling
to
that
that
you
brand.
get, you tie to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a sucker for award shows, I have to be honest. I've like
love
loved them since I was a little girl. It's like borderline, like a little like younger, like kind of like an embarrassing trait, but now I own it. Like I love an award show.
60% of Gen Z loves award shows.
Oh, perfect. So that makes it cool, right?
Yes,
I'm like with
yes.
Gen Z now. So let's talk a little about community. We mentioned that 72% say that these experiences offer an escape from the ordinary, which I think is very interesting as we look at societal changes and cultural trends, and how can these trends really help build community through these events and experiences? And what are these shared connections? What are they, and how essential are they, and how do they help really with audience engagement? Both from the event side and from the brand side. It'd be great to understand what you guys think. Anybody wants to just jump right in. Dana, I'm looking at you. You want to go?
Yeah. I mean, I think when I think about societal change and how events can either reflect that or capture that, I think of a ton of different examples of this. And Billboard, of course, is the home of the charts, right? So we're charting the most popular music based on consumer data. So we are a mirror to popular culture when we're doing our job, right? And Latin music has had a massive explosion in terms of popular consumption in the last 5 years. It's the most rapidly growing genre. And what we're seeing is that music in languages that are not spoken by the listeners is being consumed at a higher and higher rate. So an English speaker will listen to Spanish language music, and we know that from consumption data, right? But in person, you get to see this play out. And at South by Southwest, which is also part of the PMC family, Billboard does a big concert every year. And part of Billboard's ethos is to make music accessible to everyone, music information, music experiences. So we do a big show that all the UT kids can come to, and you can buy a ticket, and you guys should come. Please join us at South by. But we had Christian Nodal perform, and Christian sings exclusively in Spanish. He's a total heartthrob, and we had a bilingual audience there and an English-speaking audience there who come through as part of that South by community. And at one point in his set, in March this year, he covered Selena, and he did Como la Flor, and everybody knows that song. Right? Like everybody loves Selena. We're in Texas, and you have this guy who's so smart by having a moment that can really transcend, not by doing an English song, but by doing a Spanish song that translates to English speakers all over the world. And there was such a beautiful moment of dancing. People are crying, people are losing their minds, everybody's holding red roses. It was like, and it was this aha moment of, okay, this bilingual expression is becoming more and more a part of popular culture in the United States because it's reflective of shifting norms in the industry. And now you see Spanish being spoken on award show stages, in debate rooms, on the cover of massive publications.
I love that example, because I was going to say, similarly, when you're a brand and you speak to like community and community management, it would be ridiculous to think that like just because someone follows you on Instagram, they're part of your community, right? Like I get that's not true, and now brands, we speak to ourselves, but tapping into that community of Spanish speakers. We recently did an event for Hispanic Heritage Month, so tied in there too. We had a Venezuelan comedian. She was amazing. It was so fun. And we did it, though, more of an intimate event with New York area editors and influencers that were bilingual, but all different Spanish-speaking backgrounds. And they had so much fun. Everyone was laughing. Of course, we had the little brand merch, but it was more about bringing this community of men and women together who were like, we have a real cultural tie and a community brought together by the brand. And the feedback that we got was really like, Maybelline hears us, Maybelline did something special for us, Maybelline gets us, and then they're then sharing that to their communities who are bilingual, et cetera. So that was something that was really special. So and it like relates so much to that. I think that's amazing.
So fun. Let's collab on them.
Yes, let's collab next time.
And that's what people want, right? They want to feel like they're heard, and to be feeling like you're part of a community is really, it's almost like a human want, so it's perfect.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like very sort of light example of this, we just did the American Music Awards 50th anniversary special, and we had Stray Kids, a huge K-pop band, on the show, and obviously K-pop and sort of the entire culture and community around supporting K-pop artists is a force unto itself and fascinating, and something that we could all sit up here and just talk about for this at least 3 hours. But I think we had them pay off a sort of tribute to boy bands, right? And we ended up having them with AJ and Lance with this special moment and this connection
So
of community across
my
like
language.
As an
Oh
elder
my God.
millennial, so fun.
Same.
but like the K-pop stands suddenly wanting Lance to be performed, like
amazing.
the merging of culture that was happening there, and sort of the conversation that it sparked was so incredible to see, and just sort of the even like the old school boy band fans being able to sort of see this and appreciate sort of the K-pop fandom and stan culture was really incredible.
I love that. I also think about the Chris Stapleton Dua Lipa moment. I think
A crossover of sort of all crossovers. We were able to have this amazing pairing where Dua Lipa actually came out as a surprise guest with Chris Stapleton on the Academy of Country Music Awards, and it was really like one of the most beautiful performances, but such a merging. Chris Stapleton is not a very public promotional guy. Dua Lipa has massive fandom, right? And those fans are very different, and watching them sort of come together and the cross-pollination between genre and interest was really incredible.
And then if you looked at the charts right after that song, I Think I'm in Love with You, the version with Dua Lipa, shocked.
Yeah.
So you know that there's actually this effect of driving consumption of a product, of course in this case it's music, after a moment with mass visibility that happens specifically in time and is witnessed by, you know, a group of people who are really excited about it.
It's awesome, and that actually brings up like a great point. We talked a little bit about award shows and a little bit more, but I want to dive in more. I've already, confessed that I'm a sucker for them and a huge fan, but I'm in good company, that Maddie already pointed out. But in addition to the Gen Z, 87% of those polled, the audiences they identify as being obsessed or just casual fans of major award shows.
We love the
So
obsessed.
Maybe they're not as brave as me to admit it, but how does it kind of stay so important, and why do they still matter to culture? And as we look at the fragmented media landscape, what do you guys do, and how do you remain such a collective and unifying experience as we span across generations?
Yeah.
Sarah and I both said, like, as millennials, we loved it, but then also Gen Z are obsessed with it. So
Yeah, I think, look, so much of my day-to-day is working through the fragmentation of consumption and how award shows continue to be sort of a huge, high-impact cultural experience. And really what we have found is that it no longer matters that you and your family are sitting in the living room all watching together. It matters that the content that you want to be consuming is reaching you via the method that you actually want to consume it by, right? So I obviously work very, very closely with Billboard. The PMC ecosystem covers all DCP shows, as they should, the media outlets. If you're consuming show content via any of the PMC outlets, you're still consuming show content. The same way as if you're consuming award show content from artists posting their performances to YouTube, you're still consuming that content. And it's happening within sort of a consolidated period of time. And I think that the idea that sort of needing to watch the linear experience altogether, while very valuable, is not the end-all be-all. We're still seeing this insane level of engagement and interaction around sort of our award show events, and we're seeing it, I think, with the fragmentation of consumption, there's also this growth of everybody's community is now larger, right? It's no longer us in this room, that's my community, it's me and all of my followers and everyone I can connect with, so the impact is bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So I think that, we have brands we have the Golden Globes, 83-ish years old. We have the American Music Awards, just at a 50th anniversary special. We have these brands that have seen so many generations of fans, but the fans are not dropping with sort of distribution methods shifting. We're bringing in new fans who want to consume this content. And I think it's a really amazing thing that award shows can appeal cross-generationally. There are not that many things out there that really can do that, and where you can feel like I can personally connect to this thing, but your child can also feel that way, and your grandmother can also feel that way. I think that that's really amazing and very, very high impact for brands who want to reach a wide array of people or want to be very specific. And I think too, like and I can clearly talk about this forever, but we really spend a lot of time thinking about like how do award shows remain valuable for artists, right? How do they continue to really want to be involved? And I'm sure Dana has many feelings on that too, but I think the fact of the engagement that can be driven around them being so high is partially why artists still want to be part of them, and that they can use our stage and use us as like a conduit of connection, both with brands and with their fans, and they can sort of they want to debut stuff on our stages. They want to tease things on our stages. They want to leverage us as this like connective tissue, which I think is very powerful.
I love that you brought up the generations too that can consume, right? And I think like my mom loves Beyonce in her Zumba classes, but so do my sister and I, right? But also the generations are consuming it in different ways. So sometimes you might be seeing a clip, I see clips from award shows on TikTok, and you're engaging, and so like Billboard and the brands are getting the engagement there, and the artists are, and maybe brand sponsors. But then also it could be other people are watching it on different screens, on linear, on YouTube. So that's an interesting component too. You're getting all the generations depending on whatever screen they're looking at.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think that's so important. Like, Maddie and I were talking this morning, like, what is popular culture really right now? It's kind of hard to get your hands around it. The fragmentation of media makes all of our feeds super personalized, and everything that we're consuming is meant to speak just directly to us, right? And with AI, we are driving fast in that direction. But having an understanding of the collective consciousness around pop culture that's valuable is really something that requires a historical record. And award shows serve as that, right? Serve as the moment that speaks to this really, really diverse audience, kind of having a shared understanding of, okay, these are the biggest moments, these are the biggest shows, these are the biggest artists, these are the biggest films, directors, whatever it is. And I think that's so valuable in this time, and in the way that messaging around this is truly more split than it ever has been before.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead, Maddie.
I was just going to say, I feel like award shows I can say like Britney and Justin wearing matching jean outfits. That happened at an award show. I could say
It's a Halloween costume. People still do.
Literally all
maybe me later. I don't know. I could, like, if I say Miley at the VMAs, most of you have an idea of what I mean, even if you don't have all of the specifics and know exactly which award show that was. Like, these are lodged moments in time, and so award shows are, yes, both a demarcation of what is happening in society, and then they're also like, for me, in my personal experience, this is how I'm remembering a huge amount of my life.
And, you know, speaking of those big moments, and like, you know, you kind of have ties to them and you remember them from a brand perspective. Sarah, I'd love to hear a little bit more about some of the awesome stuff that Maybelline is doing, you know, right now. There's so many big moments happening in pop culture, you know, all of the time, but this year specifically, we were laughing before, this is like a crazy busy year for everyone, and we're like, we don't have time to sit on the stage, but here we are, and thrilled to be here. But you know, can you tell us a little bit about what you guys have been doing, and how do you get it right with these cultural moments? You align so well, and how do you really talk to the audience through them?
So it's been, yes, a really fun year. And we recently this summer, we did a media integration with Love Island, which we know is a very hot reality show with our friends at NBC. And there, you know, when we're looking at these media integrations, maybe years ago it was like, run your ad at the same time as the show. But now it's partnering to create these vignettes together. So with that, it was really fun because similar to the carnival, we connected the products to the storytelling. So we had a lip plumper that was like very spicy. So that related to like a kissing challenge. And then the firework mascara when you get like the firework like in a new dating romance, right? So we did 4 videos with them, with the NBC team. They were so much fun, but they were true product ads, but in the tone of voice of Love Island. And that's kind of the magic where it's like, let go a bit of your brand equity and exactly what you want to say as a brand, and have it come to life like you would with a creator with their tone of voice. And then we also had done something similar with MTV earlier in the year. We actually created a social first series where we brought back my Super Sweet 16, but we did it as my Super Stay 16, and so they were thrilled to bring back the IP. It was all on TikTok. It was actually like very funny and ridiculous, and we made fun of ourselves, right? Like how no one had the right shade match when you wore Dream Matte Mousse back in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I did not.
Like I looked ridiculous in college, like hello. But anyway, and then upcoming, we're excited. We recently announced, which I know Jesse, our SVP, was on a panel yesterday, that we are one of the sponsors for the 50th anniversary of SNL, alongside our sister brand CeraVe and a bunch of other great brands. And so there, one of the ads has gone live, but again, it's allowing the SNL team. I mean, they wrote the scripts for these ads.
Amazing.
So our product can be a hero and part of the storytelling, but it's not like a traditional ad. It's like so much fun. So the first one that went live was with Vanessa Bayer, so past SNL cast. It's really funny. I'm sure if you don't get targeted for it, you could see it on our Instagram or TikTok. But there's a few more coming, and I can't mention the other actresses yet, but it feels like that's how we can be part of these moments in an authentic way if we lean on their fandom of these shows and their tone of voice.
And you took the words right out of my mouth. It's so authentic, which is really.
And I probably say that word too often, but truly,
No, but
it's
it's
like
true.
we have to do it that way, or it's just going to come across as like,
true.
meh,
You know,
not
Don't be
exciting.
weird, you know?
Yeah, don't
Exactly.
be weird.
No, literally.
Or don't be uncool, right? Is that-
Authentic and authenticity has become almost such a buzzword, but like
yeah.
you are
it's
not
true.
only talking the talk, but Maybelline's walking the walk. Like
That's amazing.
We're trying.
Doing
We're
great.
going to test and learn, and sometimes it's not going to be the best, but these have been really great, and I'm very proud of the team.
Can we have one time for Michael Cera, CeraVe moment?
Oh yeah, they killed that. That was really good. Super Bowl. I know.
so good. We have 3 minutes left. If we have time, we will take some questions from the audience. So try to submit them. There should be a QR code on the screen. But before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about superfans. The study says that music artists are the biggest cultural drivers, which is not, well, I didn't find that surprising. I'm sure you don't either. And 90% of those surveyed consider themselves a super fan, while 43% say that if their favorite music artist wears or endorses something, it influences their purchase decisions, which makes a lot of sense. So, we obviously know everyone considers themselves a super fan of something. What role do you guys think that artists and celebrities particularly play with not only, brands, but helping shape these moments we've discussed? How do live experiences really bring these? I mean, I think, at these award shows or at these live experiences, you see someone you love wearing it, it's like, that's cool. I think I should probably go and look at it. But love to hear it from, your perspective, and how do these really help create a super fan, we'll say community again, another buzzword, but we're gonna say it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, first of all, super fandom is on the rise. And in addition to this study, you can check out the Luminate 360 study, which is Luminate is the data partner for the Billboard charts that tracks consumer behavior. Super fandom is massive. It's growing. It is completely supported by this cross-generational and national sort of influx of new things that are popping up. So when you look at something like Brat Summer, right? Like Brat Summer obviously has been taken over by the Harris campaign in a way that's really, really unique. But before that, Brat was something that showed up at events all over the world. And the first time Charlie ever performed a song from Brat was at Women in Music 8 months before that album dropped, right? And then she's popping up with, billboards ahead of concerts, ahead of secret shows, and that's it becomes a verb, right? Like you're doing Brat. What is Brat? It becomes a part of this lexicon that really is driven by super fandom. And at Billboard, we often talk about strategically, is it more important for us to look at fans of a genre? Genre is something that's so slippery these days, right? So we see super fans attaching much more to single artists. And single artists, as we can all see, create their own universes, right? And so for us, trying to figure out how to encourage these fans who are so smart, they're so active, they coordinate together, they think about what's important to their artists, they support them. If you have ever crossed a Barb or someone in the Beehive or, God forbid, a Swiftie or the BTS Army, that's not a place you want to be. You want to be friends with the super fans because they are a powerful, powerful unit, and they will organize themselves to create all the tools that they need to be able to push sort of their icon forward. And that can be done in the charts, it can be done through voting, it can be done just through conversation and consumption and what's trending. But this is something that we think about that really informs our experiential strategy, because we want to make sure that if we're bringing an icon into the room that has a really engaged super fandom, we want those fans to feel like we know who they are. We want to speak to them in the right tone of voice. We want to use the proper hashtags. We want to pick the right colors, and we want to make sure that we have enough seats for them because they show up en masse, right? So I think this is something that brands should really be paying attention to and thinking about, and it requires a lot of trust, right? You've got to be able to be topical, be relevant, move quickly, get social posts out, get messaging out. You guys do an amazing job of that.
And then community manage back, so it's a two-way conversation.
Yes, we have to wrap, unfortunately, but any last thoughts or words from any of you? I'd love for you to leave us with any gems or... No, we're good? All right. Well, thank you all, you guys, for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and thank you to